And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of MLB DFS Quick Hits, your Tuesday, August 3rd edition. Hope everybody had a great Monday. It was a fun one. The Orioles, we were in the Slack chat. It's free. Come join us, Fantasy DJ Slack chat. When we started seeing Andrew Heaney was chalk, it made the Orioles play even sweeter and easier to make, and we had some fun with that. Well, the Brewers woke up a little late. Still not the greatest usage of stacks. That's why stacks can be tough sometimes. They scored 6 runs, but it wasn't really the greatest way to do it. So that made things tough. The Giants are still going here. We need to get some more out of them to make it work, but the Orioles made everything groovy because they were so low owned in this one. If you played Seattle, which was talked about quite a bit in the Slack chat as well, that paid off for you as well. So hope someone has good success in that one. I am on Twitter at BDentric. If you have any questions, again, join us in the Slack chat if you'd like some fun there. If you give a rate and review on iTunes for MLB DFS Quick Hits, we truly appreciate it. And also, if you like season-long fantasy baseball, Benched with Bubba podcast coming at you twice a week, Tuesdays with Toby at Batflip Crazy doing some recaps of the week's fab. And then later in the week, usually on Thursday, I have a special guest doing some other fantasy content. So check that out, Benched with Bubba. If you like my written content for DFS, it's at rotoballer.com. On Tuesdays is the free DraftKings article, so go check that out at rotoballer.com. Also, if you like playing some DFS, you like some prop bets, go check out Prize Picks. Great way to do it. They do baseball every day. They have the Olympics. They have everything you can think of. Plus, you can start putting down some season-long prop bets on NFL and some other great stuff. So come check that out if you're new to Prize Picks. Use promo code Bubba when you create your account, BUBBA, to get a first-time deposit bonus up to $100. So go check that out at prizepicks.com. All right, everybody, 15-game slate on tap. About 10 minutes, 20 minutes before I started recording, Garrett Cole got tested positive for COVID. So he is not going to be starting on Tuesday. That'll be a fun one to see where that one lands. But we got Phillies Nationals total of 8, Indians Jays 9, Red Sox Tigers 10, Twins Reds 9, Mariners Rays 8.5, Royals White Sox 9, Pirates Brewers 9, Braves Cardinals 8.5, Cubs Rockies 11.5, Giants D-backs 9.5, and Astros Dodgers 8. Obviously, many more totals to come. Probably more cancellations of players. Got to keep your head on a swivel. That's where the Slack chat comes in a big way. Let's talk about some pitching on this slate. Walker Buehler, 10-9, is the most expensive guy on the slate at home against the Houston Astros. He was the NL pitcher of the month in July, and he was worth every single penny time and time again. 4 straight starts of 28 or more DK points, 5 of his last 6 over 28 DK points, 6 or more innings pitched in 5 of his last 6, 2 earned runs or less in 5 of his last 6, and he's got 7 or more Ks in 4 straight starts. He's been nothing short of outstanding. It's a Houston Astros offense we know is a good ball club, but they're also a team that, why can't I read right now? They're striking out 20% of the time versus righties over the last month. Never a big strikeout team. So if you want to go to Buehler at 10-9, I think he's the greatest option on the slate. But if you want to fade, I get it, hoping there's not as much strikeouts. But I will be on Buehler at 10-9. I think he's a great play. Expensive, but a great play. If you're not using Buehler, I want Zack Wheeler at $9,700 at the Washington Nationals. Buehler has been outstanding this year. Strikeouts have been through the roof. He's gone 6 or more innings in 3 straight starts, 18 or more points, or 17 or more in 3 straight, with 5 or more Ks in each start. It's a Washington Nationals team that's going to be depleted after all those trades they've made. A team striking out 22% of the time over the last month. We'll get a better sample in a few more weeks with this new team, but a very rough offense right now, to say the least. So Wheeler at 97 is a great play on this slate, especially if you want to pivot off of Walker Buehler. Sean Manaea, $9,400 at home against San Diego Padres. A sans less Fernando Tatis, which is big. Maeda was down there 6 innings, 1 hit, no earned, 9 Ks his last time out. Back-to-back 34-plus point performances at San Diego, at Seattle. 7 or more Ks in 3 straight starts. He has 6 or more Ks in 7 straight starts. He's been absolutely outstanding this run here. 20 or more points in 4 of his last 7. He's been great. $9,400 at home against San Diego without our buddy Fernando Tatis. That is a big boy type thing. And I needed to update it. I forgot to update this. Give me 2 seconds here. We need to do the last 30 days. I had it over the entire season. So we got a San Diego Padres team versus lefties over the last month, striking out 24% of the time with a 274 average, 108 WRC plus. Now you don't get Fernando Tatis Jr., so that'll make things even more interesting in those matchups. So keep that in mind. I think it makes Manaea quite an interesting tournament play at $9,400, as most will want to use to avoid San Diego, but he's been great. So I think Manaea is a really strong play at $9,400. Pairs up nicely with Wheeler at 97. That's why, as much as I like Walker Buehler at 10-9, I don't think you have to go to Buehler at 10-9. You can go to Wheeler, you can go to Manaea and save some cash. I'm a big fan of that. Speaking of saving some cash, Hyun-Jin Ryu, $8,700 at home against the Cleveland Indians. Ryu's been very, very good, coming off 25.7 point performance at Boston. Scuffled at the Mets. Looked great against Texas and Baltimore, so 23 or more points in 3 of his last 5 starts. 5 innings or more in those 3 starts, 1 run combined in those 3 starts, and he has 5 or more Ks in 2 of those 3. He's been very, very strong, and I get a Cleveland Indians offense striking out 21% of the time versus lefties with a 242 average. 253 ISO is impressive. Thank you, Franmil Reyes, and a 118 WRC+, but you're paying only 87 for Ryu, which makes it quite attractive in that matchup. So I like him as a nice discounted SP2 at $8,700. Dylan Cease at $8,400 for Kansas City. We always got that strikeout upside. Went 6 strong, struck out 6, allowed 2 runs in his last start against Kansas City. 16 or more points in 3 of his last 4 starts. He has 6 or more Ks in 6 of his last 7 starts, just great. And he gets usually at least 5 innings. He's got some issues with the long ball from time to time. Kansas City just traded Jorge Soler, so that's a little less long ball action, hopefully. Still striking out 22% of the time versus righties with a 72 WRC+. So if you want to go to Cease in tournaments at 84, I don't mind that at all. I think him and Ryu make for some nice discounted plays in this mid-range. Kenta Miata, $8,000 at the Cincinnati Reds. I'm a little bit worried because it's Great American Small Park, but Kenta's been great of late. He's gone 6 or more innings and 2 straight starts. He's gone 5 or more in 5 straight starts, allowing a total of 7 runs over those 5 starts combined. He has 17 or more DK points in all 5 of those starts. So he brings an amazing floor to the game. Lots of strikeout upside in his matchups. And he gets Cincinnati, a team striking out over 24% of the time versus righties, hitting 255 with a 106 WRC+. You got Votto, who's on fire. Winker's heating up. India's stroking it. So there's some talent, obviously, in that Reds lineup. You get Great American Small Park to go with it. But I think Maeda at 8,000 brings a phenomenal cash game floor with some tournament upside. If you want to use him at 8K, you compare him with Wheeler if you want, even with Bueller in cash games. And I think you'll be okay there with Maeda. He might get a little bit of trouble. That's what he does. He's got the strikeouts to back it up, and I think it'll keep you out of trouble with Maeda at $8,000. Going cheaper, Luis Patino, $7,400 at home against the Seattle Mariners. Kept mentioning it, like this guy's got the upside. He's got the upside. He keeps playing him. He had a couple hiccups. Last outing, 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned, 8 Ks against the Yankees for 30.5 points. His previous 2 starts, he gave up runs late in his outings that really skewed how good he could have been from DK. He's young. He's going to have issues from time to time. There's no avoiding that. That is going to happen. But he faces a Seattle Mariners team striking out 24% of the time versus righties, hitting 236 with a 96 WRC+. They got to Michael Wacha on Monday. Their tournament, the Mariners are tournament relevant lately. They hit Texas a bit. They went off Wacha. Patino's got that ceiling, though, that strikeout upside, which is humongous. If Patino's on, he's going to carve up Seattle. If he's a little bit off, like we saw in a couple other starts with him, it's going to get dicey. But at $7,400, you bring some massive GPP appeal to your lineups. A few other options for you. If Nestor Cortez starts for New York, maybe, probably not in love with that. I'm looking to punt with guys like Kyle Freeland, $6,200 at home against the Chicago Cubs, a depleted Chicago Cubs team. Freeland's been really good this year of late, I should say. He's been really good. 14, 23, 12, 7, 16, 27, 21. He's put up double-digit points in 6 of his last 7 at home against the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs team striking out over 21% of the time versus lefties. Those numbers are going to get real interesting with all the trades they made. So Freeland's in play in tournaments. Otherwise, it's like Chris Bubick, Jordan Lyles if you want to. The punts are nasty. So if you just want to go straight YOLO with Lyles, you can. You can go Bubick, who's pitched well of late, but it is the White Sox, so it's a little scary. Or you can go Freeland at 62. They're all kind of throwing dartboard punt plays. Those are the 3 I like. Lyles has brought some decent floor, not a big ceiling. Bubick's got a kind of middle floor with the middle ceiling. Freeland's got the 20-plus point ceiling, what we've seen. So, and he's got the matchup versus the Cubs that they're all just gone. Like you have Contreras, you have Patrick Wisdom, and a few others guys, but there's not a lot that really, really scares you in that offense. So I don't mind that at all. So recapping your page, I think Buehler's a great play at 10-9. If you want to save some cash, though, Wheeler, Manaea, phenomenal discounts off of Walker Buehler. I think Buehler's a great play, though, but Wheeler, Manaea, great discounts. In the 8K range, though, Hungjin Ryu, Dylan Cease, Kenta Miata, I like them all. Maeda is the best cash game play out of the 3. You can pair Maeda up with Wheeler. I like that quite a bit. But Ryu and Cease both have that tournament appeal as well. Luis Patino in tournaments, and then you can punt with Freeland, Bubick, or Jordan Lyles. So 15-game slate, pick your poison type situation, folks. Let's talk about the bats on this slate now. Catcher's position for you. JTR is swinging it well. You got Patrick Corbin, who we love to stack against. So JTR at $5,200 is a really, really fun play against Patrick Corbin. If you aren't using Freeland, you got Wilson Contreras and Coors at 51. That's totally fine. I kind of rather have Realmuto versus Corbin personally, but both are in play if you're paying all the way up. If you want to save some cash, though, you can go on down a little farther. You got Omar Narvaez at 43 versus Kranick. Don't mind that as a cheaper play. For fading Johnny Cueto, Dalton Varsho at 39 is a nice look for you in his matchup. You got Elias Diaz and Coors only 35. That's a phenomenal play. Diaz has been stroking it. Even last week when they were on the road, he was swinging it well. He homered and didn't homer. He pinch hit his last game. He homered his last 2 starts, both in San Diego. He's swinging it really, really well right now. So at $3,500 for Zach Davies, that's a good discount at the catcher's position. Going down even cheaper though, Pedro Severino. If it is the lefty Cortez, we like Severino versus lefties. He's 3,400. We still don't know exactly who the pitcher is. Like Cortez is supposed to go Wednesday. Maybe with the COVID issue, they move him up to Tuesday. I have not seen anything official yet, so that's something to keep in mind. I'll keep kind of checking my phone from time to time, but I haven't seen anything official just yet. If it is Cortez, though, some Orioles come into play in a nice, cheap way. Going below 3K now, you'll have your usual suspects. Like if Robinson Chirino starts for the Cubs instead of Wilson Contreras, Chirinos is 3K in Coors. That's a very, very good value. Other than that, though, like Berea, probably not going there. Jorge Alfaro, he had the day off on Monday. If he starts against Taijuan Walker at 25, that's a decent value. Jonah Heim at 24 is a good value if you need to, but I'm not really looking to go too cheap at the catcher position unless something really, really stands out when lineups come out. First base position, Vladito at number 34 on Monday. He's always in play. I usually don't play him because I spend up elsewhere, but that's 34 home runs, folks. So he's legit. He's also very chalky when he gets played, so just keep that in mind. But like Joey Votto at 56, if you're fading Maeda, I like that quite a bit. Or you can just save some cash in the position, go down below 5K, and get the likes of Matt Olson versus Blake Snell to be contrarian at 48. I like that angle quite a bit. Patrick Wisdom again in Coors versus Freeland. He's 4,400. There is some appeal to that. Kevin Biggio's 43 versus Plesac. If you're fading Plesac, that's interesting for sure. Going down even cheaper, though, you got Ty France, who continues to crush it. So if you are fading Patino, France went deep on Monday. Patino is only $4,000 if you want to go. France is only $4,000 versus Patino if you're fading him. But another good fade, Darren Ruff going up against Bumgarner. Bumgarner's been very good of late, but if he's off at all, Ruff has been mashing lefty. So Ruff is 39 in that matchup. Not a must play, but does have some a definite appeal for you there. Going down to a little bit cheaper options for you, Jesus Aguilar is always in play at 35 in tournaments versus a guy like Taijuan Walker. Going down even cheaper, like Ryan Mountcastle. I talked about how I was all over him. He had a monster game again on Monday. If it is Cortez, Mountcastle's $3,200. That's a great savings for the cleanup hitter of Baltimore versus a lefty in Yankee Stadium. $3,200 for Mountcastle. Like I wasn't going to play the Orioles at all versus Cole on a big slate. I was like, screw it. If they go off, they go off. But now if you give me Cortez or something at these discounted prices, I'm intrigued. You got Rowdy Tellez at 3K, still a very nice discount versus the righty Kranick. If you're looking for that kind of savings, Connor Joe for Colorado is only $2,600 in Coors versus Zach Davies. That does have some appeal. Connor Joe is like an all or nothing type guy, but he hits for decent average, and he has 10 or more points in 3 of his last 5 games. Those are all road games. So now you put him back in Coors Field versus Zach Davies at $2,600. That's an extreme savings that should be very popular even in cash games when you look at Connor Joe. And I believe, he's first base and outfield eligible, so you don't have to use him at first base if you don't want to. You can slide into the outfield on DK. Other than that, nothing right yet unless lineups dictate. Second base position, you got Jonathan India is up to 54. Great play. Eduardo Escobar made me eat my words. I told you he does it once in a while. He burns me when he does. He had a great Monday, went deep. He's 53 versus Kranick. I'll probably just stick to my ways because if you stick to it, eventually your system works. I'm going to keep sticking to it, but he's swung it well, and he's in a great spot again on Tuesday against Kranick. Going down below 5K now, you got Ozzie Albies versus Lester. Albies loves hitting lefties. He's great versus lefties. He's 47, so that's a really, really nice play for you. Gene Segura versus Corbin at 44 is outstanding. Like that quite a bit. If you're stacking Milwaukee, Colton Wong's 43, so you can look there, but I love that Segura price at 44 versus Corbin. That's a really good one if you're paying up in that price range. If you're going cheaper, though, Ryan McMahon and Coors is 36. Colorado's really cheap for Zach Davies, really cheap. Jazz Chisholm's only 35 versus Walker. That's another good one, but I prefer McMahon and Coors, obviously, but both really good plays in their respective matchups. Low 3Ks now. You got Josh Van Meter if you are fading Cueto at 31. Van Meter, I believe, he's still a base on Monday night. He's been kind of productive. If you're fading Patino, Abraham Toro is still 31. I've been using him a ton. I hope Josh Harrison cracks the Oakland lineup. He's second base outfield eligible, only 31 versus Snell. I love that one. Harrison's been great versus left-handed pitching this season. $3,100 is a great price tag for second base outfield eligible Josh Harrison in his situation. And then below 3K, Tommy Edmonds swinging it really well. He's 2,900. Probably prefer Harrison in that matchup at 31. David Boat in Coors, second base, third base, only 27 versus Freeland. That is an extreme value as well. And then Hung Sung Kim of the Padres is $2,400 versus Manaea. I'm on Manaea, but I could see that being a nice value if you need to. I'd probably rather go to Boat at 27 if you are going down that low. You don't need to use either one, but that's kind of the discount spot on second base I'd probably run to. Third base, Devers at 57 versus Willie Peralta is really, really nice because Peralta is a massive pitch-to-contact guy. Caught up to him his last start, so I can see that being another nice bounce-back spot for him. Going down cheaper, though, again, Eduardo Escobar is 53. He's in play. Chris Bryant versus Bumgarner at 5K I like quite a bit. If you're on the Gigantes, he is in play for you. Some cheaper options, Kyle Seager versus Patino at 45, Patrick Wisdom and Coors at 44, like we talked about. Bijou at 43, but a great discount. Going up against Johnny Lester, Austin Riley's only 41, swinging an extremely hot stick. Great matchup versus John Lester. Alec Bohm is 41 versus Corbin. I prefer Riley over Bohm, but really both in phenomenal spots. Like, I'd rather fade Corbin, but I like Riley over Lester overall. So that's something to think about. And Alex Dickerson just hit a piss missile grand slam to make it 7-1 for the Gigantes. Boom goes the dynamite. All right. So after Alec Bohm, that's your live analysis of when I record things. So you got that going for you. But Bohm is intriguing to say the least. And we got some other options for you. If Wilmer Flores, he's been day-to-day with a back issue. If he cracks the lineup, he's 38 versus Bumgarner. That's intriguing. But Heimer Candelario is swinging a really, really good bat. Detroit gets Garrett Richards. Detroit has been really good of late. Candelario is cheap at 37. I think that's a great savings. Same with Matt Chapman at 37 versus Blake Snell. Chapman, he's only hitting 195 over his last 10 games, but 3 home runs. He's averaging 8 points per game over his last 10. He's homered in 2 of his last 5. He's an all-or-nothing GPP type play at 37, where Candelario gives a better floor to the matchup. I like them both. Just depends if you're stacking, where you're stacking. Like if you're going cash, I go Candelario. And then if you're stacking the A's, you definitely have some Chapman in your life. McMahon at 36, I don't mind at all. Some cheaper options for you. I mentioned Toro. Abraham Toro at 31 is one I like quite a bit for savings and a Seattle stack if you're fading Patino. David Boats, 27, second base, third base. That's a great savings. And then Matt Duffy is also 26 in Coors. So the Cubs and the Rockies are both ridiculously cheap in Coors Field. So they might be popular. Then again, they've been so bad they might not be. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Projections, which you can you'll hear us talk about over there in the good old Fancy DJ and Slack chat. Myron Kids asks, Giants for an odd year championship? Yep, new decade, new trends. This way we can win more. The 21, 23, 25, 27, 29. It's going to be a great time. A new dynasty forming by the Bay. It's a little tongue-in-cheek, but I'd be so happy if it was true. Shortstop position, you got Timmy Anderson at 6K versus lefty. If you want to, you get it. I don't mind that at all. Boba Shed at 55 is always in play. But going cheaper, Trevor Story is expensive at 52, but he's going to have a monster couple months because he wants to get paid. So keep that in mind. I like that coming up there. His matchup, Labor Torres at 44 isn't a bad play there versus Wells if you need to look that way. Going cheaper, Dansby Swanson is only 4K versus lefty. If you're stacking Atlanta, that's a great price point for Dansby Swanson at 4K. Kyle Farmer's been swinging it of late. He's 36 versus Maeda. If you want to go that direction, not loving it. But right now, like Ramon Urias at 26, a great value versus Cortez. Kevin Newman's been swinging well for Pittsburgh. He's 25 versus Hauser. Those would be my 2 main values if you're looking for value. But overall, I think I'm paying up at shortstop like usual. Outfield position will be loaded on 15 games, like Harper, sure, Soto, probably go Harper over Soto, but Soto's always in play, period. Nelson Cruz versus Kikuchi at 34. He's got a couple career home runs off of Cruz, so that's a really, really good look as well. So I like that quite a bit. Jesse Winker's been swinging it well. I still take Cruz over Winker in that scenario, but Springer at 51 is just on fire. Keep running that one out there. I mentioned Brian at 5K. I like him quite a bit. Teoscar at 49, swinging a good stick. Like usual with Toronto, it's Bichette, Teoscar, Springer for me. That's my usual Toronto stack. Cedric Mullins had a monster game on Monday. If it's versus a lefty, who cares, people? Cedric at 46 versus Cortez is a really, really good look if that's the scenario we get. Brian Reynolds is only 44 versus Hauser. If you're going to get to Hauser, it's via the lefty. So Reynolds is a good play. Love Starling Marte at 44. He had his Oakland debut over the weekend. Had a great game. 3 hits on Sunday. He basically hit safely in 3 or 4 games for the A's. Even stole a couple bags. He sold 3 bags on Sunday. Just doing Starling Marte things at 44 versus Snell. If you aren't using Hyun-Jin Ryu, Franmil Reyes at 43 is outstanding. Like that one quite a bit. Ketel Marte is back. He's only 42 versus Cueto. You can go that direction as well. Some cheaper options. Adam Duvall, likely starting for Atlanta versus the lefty Lester at 4K. Great spot for Adam Duvall. We love him versus a lefty he could destroy. Avisel Garcia at 39 for stacking Milwaukee. Avi stole a bag, scored some runs. Decent little Monday night, so he's 3,900 in his matchup. Again, if you're fading Blake Snell, which you should be in life, Mark Canha is $3,900. Good price point for you on that one. Going down cheaper now. Akil Badu's only 38 versus Garrett Richards. That's an outstanding price point. Ramon Laureano has been struggling, but only 38 versus Snell is very, very solid as well. Cheaper plays. If you aren't using C, Benintendi at 36 is intriguing. Not one of my top plays, but intriguing. Jake Fraley's back off the IL. He's 36 versus Patino. A few others. Manny Margot at 35. We do like Manny versus lefties versus Kikuchi at 35. Just be worried. Potential pinch hit situation later in the game. Jarren Duran probably hitting second versus Willie Peralta. He's 34 for an option in that game. Going down even cheaper now. There's Alex Dickerson. Not going to use him versus the lefty, but big grand slam there for Alex Dickerson. Like that one quite a bit. Jorge Soler, though, mentioned Duvall going against Lester. Soler's been batting second, even against righties for Atlanta. He's $3,100 versus Lester. Really nice value there. Andrew Vaughn's up to $3,100 versus a lefty. That's a shame. I'd rather have Soler in that matchup at 31, but both intriguing plays. I'd rather have Robbie Grossman hitting third versus Garrett Richards at 31. Grossman is swinging a very hot stick right now at $3,100, so keep riding that train. Going down even cheaper now, below 3K. Tyrone Taylor's in play at 28. As usual, Jonathan Dawson Coors could be in play. Check that one out. Again, a lot of this be lineup dictated because there's a lot of value these days. But if you're attacking Adrian Houser, you're attacking with lefties. Gregory Polanco's 2,600. That's a nice cheap one for you. Rafael Ortega will be in Coors in his matchup at 2,600 versus Kyle Freeland. The catch is it's lefty-lefty, so I'll have to see if he's in the lineup. If he is, I could still go for it. I'd be fine. Connor Joe's 26, like we talked about. That's a good one as well. Sam Hilliard in Coors is 25. He's been swinging a really good bat since getting called up. Even on the road, he's been going deep. So Hilliard at 25 is a good value. Again, Rockies and Cubs, super cheap for the Rockies side. We'll go into stacks in a bit and talk about that. Brandon Drury with the lefty Garrett on the mound at 24. Drury had a nice game on Monday. He's been crushing it. Loves him some lefties. So keep him on your radar. And then you just kind of check your lineups. Like Austin Hayes at 23 is outstanding versus Cortez. He's hitting second. Like you get him at 23. You get Mountcastle at 32 batting fourth. You get Santander around 2K batting fifth. Then you can mix and match. Like put Mullins at 44 leading off. Like it's a freaking great affordable stack. Ben Gamel's 21 versus Hauser. So you can go that direction as well. And then I'm just trying to find what they price Santander at. He was at 2K on Monday. I'm assuming that'll be the same on Tuesday because I thought it would be Garrett Cole. Where you at, Santander? There he is. Yeah, 2K yet again. So you get a nice discount for the number 5 hole hitter for the Baltimore Orioles. All right, everybody, let's recap some pitching for you here. Walker Buehler 10-9, great play. Great play if you want to go there. Otherwise, save some money. Wheeler at 97, Minaya at 94. Wheeler and cash for sure, both in tournaments. I like Wheeler, probably as my top points per dollar play. Buehler is phenomenal at 10-9 if you want to go there, though. If you want to save some cash, Ryu at 87 is a nice look. Dylan Cease in tournaments at 84. And then Kenta Miata at 8K I like a lot in tournaments and in cash. Brings in great floor to the situation. Now, if you want tournament cheapies, Patino at 74. These are all going to be really risky, though. Patino at 74. Freeland at 62. I don't mind that with that Cubs lineup. And then Bubic at 58. Lyles at 51. It's pretty nasty. We've got some questions rolling into the chat. When I finish with my stacks here, I'll answer those questions in the chat for you guys. Looking for stacks here. Philadelphia versus Corbin. We love that. Harper, Hoskins pinch hit on Monday night, so that's a good sign. Segura, see what other bats come in those stacks. Realmuto, you'll be able to get some value there for sure. Baltimore's becoming a cheap stack. I might jump back on. So that's very, very appealing. It makes we'll have to see exactly who's starting for the Yankees in that scenario. Some other ones, look at Detroit versus Garrett Richards. You can go with Boston versus Wiley for sure. There's no problem with that at all. I do like Detroit as some value there versus Garrett Richards. Jumping back on that train. I'll keep going back to Milwaukee. They put up 6 runs. It could have been so much more. Like they let a lot off the hook. That offense is very talented right now, and they'll be low owned yet again on Tuesday. So I have no problem continuing to stack with them. Atlanta versus Leicester. Go get them. Riley, Albie is my top 2 there. Then you mix and match from there. Like Soler's a nice value. You got Duvall. You got Swanson. You got Freeman. Lots to like there, but start with Albie and Riley. Those will be my top 2 to start with at Atlanta versus St. Louis. You got Coors Field for sure. Prefer the Colorado side. Tons and tons of value in that game. You can go Giants versus Bumgarner if you want with your Posies, your Bryants, your Duffys, or your Ruffs. I mean, maybe Flores if he plays Slater leading off. There's options to be had there. And then Oakland versus Blakey Snell, Marte, Kana, Chapman, Olson, Laureano. You can go Murphy. There's a lot to like there, but I start with Marte. Marte and Kana be my top two there versus Blakey Snell. All right, some questions in here. Sean says Yankees are awful. Imagine stacking the Yankees as mega chalk. Yeah, that'd have been stupid. But yeah, that was not on the agenda today, folks. Didn't want that at all. Boston probably scores 13 runs tomorrow in Detroit. Wouldn't be shocked. Freeland is an absolute lock at SP. Nothing's an absolute lock in this pair, but I do like him at $6,200 to hopefully get us like 15 plus. That'd be great. Hopefully we'll see plenty of dumb chalk donkeys go to the Cubs and Coors. Will be funny. That's the goal. Myron says MLB DFS streak continues. Love attacking crappy bullpens. That a boy. Top pitchers again, Mr. Mitchell. It's you could go to Buehler if you want, but if you want to save some cash, Wheeler, Minaya. Then in the middle, you got Ryu, Cease, and Maeda. Down below is a mess with Patino, Freeland, Bubic, and stuff. But like if you're just doing cash games, Wheeler, Maeda. That's where you go in cash. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening in. Thanks for joining me on the live stream here. If you want to check it out on replay, rotoballer.com. Go to the YouTube channel for RotoBaller. Get the goods there. Also, if you just want to rate and review the podcast, download it at all your listening platforms, MLB DFS Quick Hits. Lastly, check me out on Twitter at BDentric. Join us in the free Fantasy DJ Slack chat. Sign up for prop picks. Go check them out, prizepicks.com, at prizepicks on Twitter, and go download the app, create an account, use promo code Bubba. When you do that, first time deposit bonus up to $100. Hope everybody has a great Tuesday. I'll be back with you guys on Wednesday night. This was MLB DFS Quick Hits, your Tuesday, August 4th, 3rd edition. I'm out.